Masks of Gnarltep is set in the 1920s. We will be using terms and sayings from those times, including some that could be considered offensive. It is not our intention to offend, we merely wish to offer as accurate a view of the time period as possible. Welcome to the Nerds Domain presents Masks of Gnarltep. Join us each week as our investigators follow a path of clues and attempt to save the world from an ancient evil. Starring John Quiett, Jestin, Kimmet, Shirley Niedzwiecki, George Chimples, Jason Hall, and Scott Troiano, with me, Matt Quiett, running the table as the Keeper. Eldritch evils and crazed cultists await you just beyond this music.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Nerds Domain presents Masks of Gnarltep. I'm here with Shirley.
Hello.
Scott.
I'm unconscious. Can I talk now?
Yes.
Okay. Hi.
George.
How's it going?
Jason.
Hello.
Johnny. Justin.
Hi.
Two of the six of our party are down. We'll see how that goes. So, where you guys get off the island, I assume pick up the two snipers.
Yep.
Where are you headed?
Well, not back to that fucking hotel where they know where we are. I'm sorry, I'm unconscious. Go ahead. Yes, back to the hotel to pay for the door and gather our
would
things.
someone like to do first aid on Mr. Byrne?
Yeah, I will.
You've already had first aid done on you.
This is like a new scene?
No, it's per wound or per hit. So you've been hit once for that 10.
Oh.
He looks hurt.
Okay.
He looks hurt.
He looks hurt.
I can't try, can I? He just poked him when he looks hurt. I don't know.
Why can't you try on?
Because he's already succeeded on him.
Right.
There's already been
For two. I don't know what his...
Yes, hurt. He looks hurt.
Okay, I'm going to... We can do this one because there's a thing for it.
That's horrible.
Untrained.
Yeah,
Why can I not
you
talk?
got a 30% chance base.
Yeah, where's my other die? Oh, there's no. Haha! Yes! I concur with their diagnosis!
Why don't you try? She's in the other car.
Now, can I try medicine?
No.
What
My
did you
medicine-
try before?
My medicine is
You
higher
have a
than my first
30%
aid.
chance
Oh.
So
even
the
without
four of
having
you-
skill in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
You want to try?
It's worth a shot.
A what?
You can't make it worse.
What
We've
am I
already
on?
done that.
First aid.
Poke him with a stick.
So do we put the two snipers and the two victims in the other car?
Hold on. I'll explain this in a second when Shirley... Nope.
Yes.
So you guys get probably 10 or 15 minutes down the road and pull over to assess. To check and see how everybody is. To do first aid on Mr. Byrne. Mr. Byrne, you're still down.
I think we should leech him.
We should drop him in the swamp water in January. The natural leeches will come and get him.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
So, what is the plan from the four of you who are conscious?
So, should we go tell the local authorities
Yeah.
what's went down on the island? That they might need to send some people that direction?
What time is it? It's still fairly early, right?
It's probably 7:30, 7:45 in the evening.
I mean, we still
I need to
have...
stop at the hotel before midnight, otherwise...
You mean the hotel where they know we stay at?
Well, the guy's dead now, so...
Yeah, his friends. He seems to have a lot of friends.
Have we... Out of character, sorry. We have, like, all these, like, books and things. What did we do with... We never talked about whether we were going to put those aside anywhere or anything
Good
like that.
question.
All those books and things are in my stuff back at the hotel.
Right. So, someone needs to go to the
We
hotel.
do
We
have
need to send
to.
someone to the hotel to get our stuff.
Can't we get a runner?
No, that's not a bad choice.
Sure,
Send a runner to the
Byrne,
manager and
I'll go
say, collect our stuff, send it to X location.
I think we could send
We'll
his
not be staying
armed
there anymore.
compatriots.
Two left.
Can I do a PS? Sorry about your door.
Sure, let's leave. So yeah, first, again, out of character, what I think we should do is, draft a letter for a messenger to send, to collect up all of our gear, the important, or all of our personal belongings, get that sent to some neutral location where our buddies can pick it up or something like that, while we go somewhere else and rest up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where are you going to rest up?
Maybe some sort of suburb, like...
We're not telling you. You're the GM.
You're actively trying to kill us.
It's not working. I'm just saying. Like, I couldn't roll to save my life. To
No,
kill
that
any one
was
of you.
surprisingly one-sided, quite frankly.
Yeah.
We could go to Brighton, which is like I think, an hour, 2 hours away from London, which is like a seaside resort town where we could probably easily find hotel rooms and...
Right, probably 3 hours given the time of the cars, but yeah, that's an option.
And just rest and recoup there while...
So we're not going to tell the authorities. What are we going to do with our...
We have killed several people tonight.
What are we going to do with our rescued sacrifices? They can't just join our merry band.
What happens to them?
Okay, just gonna throw this out there that out of character because he's unconscious. Several of the men who were killed tonight on our side were the authorities.
Yeah, I think the authorities will be on our side if we tell the authorities that they're there. We have 3 eyewitnesses with us that will vouch for us, and we never were really on the wrong side of the law here. We did kind of vigilante a bit.
No, vigilantism is against the law.
Is it against the law in England?
We've been carrying firearms, which are not, I don't think mine is licensed in this country, and there will be many, many questions, and I do not know if we have answers that will.
So we're just going to leave it there as this
authorities.
great mystery.
Oh, Mr. Constable, the sky cracked open and something came out, then we shot some people in the face. They will not enjoy that if we tell them.
We don't have to tell them everything.
I love Mr. Weld's impression of a British man.
All we need to tell them is that there were a group of cultists planning to sacrifice people, and we stopped it with the aid of some other people.
No. Yes, believe it or not, a group of heretics getting together does not qualify in most places.
Alternately, we could try and travel to the good captain's family home. I do not know how we will be received there, but it may provide a safe haven.
Where is the good captain's family home? The good captain can keep that to himself. I don't know that he's told anybody.
I might know, though. We're buddies.
I've told Weld
You know
before.
what, Mr. Weld, you probably would know. Okay, that makes sense. I was going to say the rest of you I don't think would have been told at any point in time, but Mr. Weld, sure.
I probably wouldn't have met his dad, so I have no idea. I would not have a relationship with that individual. But if we were to speak to the authorities, it would be best if we had some sort of... Again, if we speak to the authorities, it would be best if we had some sort of legitimacy, and they will take us more seriously if they inquire at the good captain's home rather than 4 dirty, armed individuals covered in blood wandering into a random police station saying, oh, well, you know, there's some horrible, crazy happenings going on that will make us sound quite insane.
So what are we going to do with the ex-sacrifices which have appeared to become hostages? We can't just release them.
Well, we should ask them what they want to do, but I would imagine that they too would want to go to a place of safety, and perhaps we can inquire as to what befell them and how they came to this end. And then perhaps aid them to go someplace that would be safe for them as well. Do they look well-to-do?
Are they with us?
Or who with you?
The sacrifices.
Ex-sacrifices.
They're in one of the
Ex-sacrifices.
cars.
Potential sacrifices. What do you want to call them?
They're defined with you.
Well,
Are they here?
We were in 2 cars,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, no, you guys pulled over.
Yeah, so we could be like outside. I envision it. We're outside having this powwow, and they're in the cars, probably shivering and trying to get over what they've experienced themselves.
Right.
What'd you say the name of that resort place was?
Brighton.
Do you know what?
Brighton Beach.
Do you know where it's? Oh, I found it. Okay. Kent's going to take you about 3.5 hours, and that's where Mr. Captain Wilkerson's estate is.
Mm-hmm.
So 10 o'clock.
Give or take, yeah.
I say let's go somewhere safe.
I'm going to walk up to the car that's housing the ex-sacrifices.
Sure.
I'm going to open the door.
Okay.
Good.
I will keep an eye on Mr. Botticello.
Thank you.
Do you believe in Jesus Christ?
No. Why no? I believe in the Church of England. Oh. You guys were slated to die
Jesus
anyway.
Christ? No, I believe in the Church of England. The answer is that.
You can smell it on him. He's got heretic killer.
God save the king!
God save the king.
Could any of you 3 by chance explain how you arrived in your current predicament?
The woman speaks up first, and she says, I was working down by the docks, and a gentleman approached me for my time, and then I woke up in a dungeon.
I quirk an eyebrow.
And then one of the other men says, I was working down by the docks as well. Late one night, went drinking. I woke up here.
What night was it? Were they out the same night? You don't tell me.
They are the same night. All three of them were down by the dock somewhere doing something. It was between the 13th and the 25th of January. The one of the men being held the longest, the woman in the middle, and a man on the other end. So,
Do any of you have families?
all three of them, yes. One of the two military guys, we can drive them back into town and carry this letter that you guys have been talking about, and then handle everything from there and get everything sent out to the estate.
It's probably our best option.
Well, you three, would you feel safe going back to your homes, or do you need any further assistance?
I think this will be as good as it can be.
Alright, and can I have your names? My name is Mr. Ezra Hathaway Weld. Courtney Hathaway Weld of the Cambridge Weld. Sorry, I'm a bit shook from the events of the evening.
It's Miss Asbury, Mr. Smith.
Smythe.
It's Mr. Smythe, I guess.
Oh, very much. We love our British listeners.
And Mr. Other English name I really can't think of off the top of my head.
Fair enough, and then I'm going to inquire about, where they live, just because, in case we need to get in touch with you in the future, or I would like to check up to make sure
They
that
give
you're
you
safe.
some addresses and such. Yeah, you don't know. So, yeah, they give you some addresses.
Alright, so shall we to the good captain's estate?
Sounds like an idea to me.
Hopefully he'll be awake by the time we get there.
So, the two of you, or the six of you, get back into the car and head that direction. Six.
I never got out of
Right. That's a solid point.
Those
Or
are
if you get
door
back
stops.
Are there payphones at this period of time, or is there some place where I could ring up?
You could go to some.
Like a telegraph.
No, you could go to some
We're gonna go through a town.
businesses.
Some public houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to stop at a pub and also and call to the hotel and say, two gentlemen, and I'll describe them.
You will have to go through London to get there. Do you want to skirt London? Also, do any of you know how to navigate from here to Kent?
We'll get there eventually.
So the first thing you would probably do is stop at whatever the British call a gas station, because I know it's not a petrol.
That's interesting. Yeah.
There we see. I knew it wasn't a gas station. And probably acquire a map.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. You can also ring from there.
Yeah, and I would describe the gentlemen that are going, that they will be arranging for our bags. If you can have our personal possessions ready for them. That letter I gave you, you can feel free to destroy that. And
What about the other letter you sent?
the one that I was going to send across the ocean.
You already sent it across the ocean.
Yeah, that's sent across the ocean.
Okay, so I guess that's out of here.
Yeah, it's all yes. You can destroy that. They'll be with their possessions. Any further charges, damages,
Doors.
you can please send to
The Wilkerson family.
the estate of Captain Wilkerson, and we will arrange for it.
Absolutely.
Taken care of. And thank you so much for your understanding of our eccentricities.
Yes. Well, do have a good trip. And so,
Oh yes, we'll try. And I kind of laugh in a creepy way.
so who wants to roll navigation?
Scary one.
I'll try
Who
it.
is conscious that wants to roll navigation?
I'll try it.
No.
I'll be the
I
navigator.
think Weld should.
Oh,
I believe that Jason rolled first.
That was kind of close. I'm 9 off.
Okay. So you are driving, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's gonna shotgun it?
I thought we were following a
I
map.
have a shotgun.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
Yeah.
But navigating a map in the dark in a country you've never been to A little tough.
On the
All
wrong,
right,
on the
okay,
wrong
okay,
side
got
of
it.
the
Well,
road.
no, I'm sorry. This is this group. We have ducked the gas station attendant at shotgun point.
Tell us how to get to Kent! Tell us how to get to Kent!
And make him take us.
I've got this. England is a small country. We just drive this road straight, and it will eventually lead us to the town we want to go to.
We hit a roundabout and die.
Yeah, exactly.
DuPont Circle just around. Up to the round.
Big Ben, Parliament.
Big Ben, Parliament.
We see Big Ben! Oh, that's next to Kent, right?
I will basically just like stop like every half hour to make sure we're on the right path. or whatever.
Given your role, it takes you about 4.5 hours to get there.
Oh,
Roads
God.
are a little weird in England, mostly because you're on the wrong side, and it doesn't make any sense.
Roads are wonderful in England, and the roundabout was one of the best inventions ever known to modern motorists.
Also,
You've
driving.
obviously never driven a semi.
oh well.
Also, driving.
I believe they call them lorries.
Driving cross country is not something most people are used to, and this is a lot of kind of driving cross country. So it's not terribly confusing. It just takes a little longer.
I get a lot of Red
I
Bull at the
follow
petrol
suit.
station.
A lot of Red Bull.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a
It
Coke.
clearly was a BP, right?
Nice.
Silent on the no-dos.
So you guys get there right about midnight. Yeah, that's right.
The witching hour.
This is the perfect time to announce ourselves to him with his unconscious son.
He might be
Oh,
like
he
a
won't
good
be
doctor.
Hello, sir. We are
Scott,
friends of your son. We
would you
brought
like
his
to
unconscious form
would
back
you like to
you.
describe your British home?
Certainly. It is not exactly a palatial estate, but it is owned by the Earl of Montague,
Nice.
which is several miles north of the town of Sandwich in Kent. Yes, that would be the Earl of Sandwich.
Inventor of the sandwich.
Well, that was his father's 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 father was the...
So were you engaged to Lady Capulet near you?
No, you're funny. No, the Montagues. Yes, thank you. It is a home just north of Kent, off of and I can't remember the river off the top of my head, but there's a nice little windmill, and there's a lot of open land for not farming, but there's grassland. There's some pasture land, but it is a rather large house tucked away off of a rather long drive. It is not exactly secluded, but it's 3-4 miles north of the town of Sandwich, which puts it outside of any of the... I mean, Sandwich is not a huge town, but it's big enough that it would have most of the amenities, and it is definitely outside of that town limit, as it were. But it's a large, very old home that has been there for probably longer than our country has been a country, especially at that point.
You're all the way out on the frickin' ocean.
The ocean's just over the hill. Yes.
Okay.
Here, I'll show you exactly where the house is.
Like right here.
For those of you
Did you
listening,
use historical family for your...
Yes, I did.
So did I.
Yes, I did. Yes.
This isn't the first time that Scott's used this family for his role playing.
Interesting.
Precisely. For those of you that are interested at all, it's off of Monk's Way Road.
Oh.
What?
Creepy.
Yes,
Cultist Road.
this character that I'm playing is the father of another character of mine that will be turned into a Semeti later in the timeline of this family.
That's a good place to start.
It
So
is a
we're
good
going to do a
place
World
to
of
start.
Darkness crossover.
Sure, eventually.
No.
Yes, tucked back off of Monk's.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
So,
And there's the river. Let me see this again.
Is it river?
I don't know.
It's Smith on Twine.
Nice. No, this doesn't have the name of it. What program are you using here?
Google Maps?
Is it really?
No, it's Maps.
Oh, it's maps.
It's awesome.
Yeah, with no names of rivers.
You know what? It found Sandwich, England. I'm very impressed. You
Yeah.
can put me somewhere in France. We are already winning.
Yeah. Well, there's the river that runs through Sandwich, and I can't remember what that is off the top of my head without
That's
opening
okay.
up the... and it backs against the river. And
Wait, so is he still unconscious now that we're pulling up
Yes.
on this joint?
yeah, I'm out.
Jeez.
So
What
they're
about
like,
Byrne?
yes, we'd like to come in. And they're like, we don't know you. We hold up his limp son from the back. You know this guy? And we're kind of pumping his hands up. Hello!
He's just really drunk.
Weekend at Wilkerson's.
That's what I was asking. Like, we can do the weekend at Bernie's thing where like we stand behind him and like knock out the door.
Right.
And when they come, we can be like, "Hi, Mom."
Then we end up in British jail again.
Right. Weekend at Wilkerson's. That's awesome.
Like reach around and be like, "Hi."
So you drive up. Is there a gate?
No.
Barrel
So
through.
like a circular drive out front. I assume.
Right.
So you pull up at the circular drive, and as you guys are getting out of the car, a gentleman, hastily dressed, clearly a member of the servants, comes outside. Can I help you?
I'm gonna open the back door of the car and be like, "Captain Wilkerson would like to see his father."
Hold up a handful of air.
This is most embarrassing, but I assure you we are in quite a lot of distress. As you can see, and I indicate the obvious blood and stains on our clothing from the combat
Yes,
we've been in.
Reginald's father was concerned.
That's probably who that would be.
I'm afraid if you can call a doctor, we have two of our associates are in poor condition, including the good captain himself.
I will. Let's get the men inside, and then we'll make a few calls.
Thank you. I am Courtney Hathaway Weld of the... Well, we can introduce the rest of ourselves later,
You
but
may call me Ferguson.
thank you, Ferguson.
And he helps like carry one or both in.
From the back of the car, I will pick up the shotgun, the other shotgun, the pistols, my shotgun, my pistols.
So you made the least hard. The most hard.
The Mr. Byrne is taken into like a sitting parlor and
Mhm.
laid on a couch gently, and Captain Wilkerson is taken up to his, I assume, second-story bedroom.
Yes.
And then Ferguson goes straight to the phone and Scott, describe your father.
Father is an older gentleman, grayish hair. How much do you want to know about him?
As much as you want to give.
Edward
he-
Longshanks from...
He is a member of the House of Lords.
Oh my god.
A very stern man.
Yes.
Is it Edward Longshanks?
No, it's
No.
not Edward Longshanks.
No.
That would be terrifying.
That would be awesome.
He throws us out.
And he's
If
the
your
nicest
father
thing
was-
we've run into this evening.
So, if Ferguson was played by someone, it would be Wadsworth from DuckTales, right? And if your father was played by someone, it would be...
The guy from Jumanji?
No, that's
No.
Lord Lannister from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Some of the he'd be a very. This is not proper.
So he comes down in...
Oh, he's home. I was hoping he was still. I was hoping he was still in London.
He comes down in a thick robe. It's not that the house isn't heated, it's that most of the house is not heated at night. There's no reason to.
Yeah.
So he comes down wrapped in a thick robe. What is the meaning of tonight? What's going on?
What is the proper address for someone in the House of Lords? I mean, is this a sir or what? I don't know.
My lord.
My lord. So I will...
And that would be, even if you didn't know, that's a safe place to start, because if you overshoot, they're going to correct you
Right.
politely. If you undershoot, they're going to get pissed. And
Yeah.
my lord is a good safe spot.
I'm going to throw in as much of my social niceties that I possibly can and turn on and kind of bow and say, my lord, I'm sorry to meet you in such a sorry state. I am Courtney Hathaway Weld of the Cambridge Welds. This is...
Yeah, as soon as he starts doing that, like, I take my hat off and I, like, look in the mirror and look down. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm sure your Cowgirl crap would go over
Yeah.
real good here.
Right,
And your Professor...
Wentworth of Harvard.
Professor Wentworth of Harvard.
You want me to make a...
No.
Okay.
We've... sorry.
Yes, Harvard.
Forgive the guns. I've been hanging out with your son.
We've been engaged in some...
Oh God.
We've been engaged in some investigations that, as you may see, tonight we've saved 4 souls, lost several others, but we've stopped some terrible things. But in the process, one of our associates, Mr. Byrne, and your son have taken some lumps, as it were, my lord. And
So, and as you start, like you finish that, he says, Ferguson, and he raises his voice the slightest bit, and Ferguson appears. I mean, like it was Ferguson, and he's there.
Like from Big Daddy?
Have you? Yes. Have you called the doctor? Of course, sir. Okay. make these four as comfortable as possible. Take her hat and see them to the back sitting room. Make sure there's a coffee or tea as they see fit. I understand the colonists like their coffee. I will be with you in a few moments. And he goes, he doesn't even, you start talking and he keeps going.
I'll say, at your service!
And he goes back upstairs, probably to change if you had to guess. And Ferguson, come, please. And he leads you back to a back sitting room, which is more of like a study we would think of. It's more of a intimate area where you can be relaxed, but in a closer place and not so stuffy and uptight. Although from this guy, it just means a little less uptight.
And Ferguson, if you could, some perhaps hot towels so that we may. I'm incredibly sorry. We've not had a chance to
Absolutely
tend to our.
Is there tea, coffee?
Tea, please, sir.
Ma'am, your hat.
Reluctantly, very reluctantly, I kind of start to hand it over.
He takes it daintily, like all but not touching it at all, and kind of holds it slightly away from him, and he says thank you, and he heads back towards the front. You're left there probably 10 minutes, and the Lord...
I will say, Miss McCrea, thank you. I appreciate, and I know you appreciate in these circumstances, we must be on our absolute best behavior. We need this man's help. Mr. Botticello, please do what you can to stay in control. And yes, as Professor Wentworth says, perhaps leave the talking to the two of us if you must.
Well, as I don't
None
know
of your
what
potpourri.
I'm doing here.
That's why I haven't said a lot.
Have some coffee and recover your senses, I say.
I'm gonna find like a quiet spot I can put down all the weapons.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to towel all the dirt off.
It's been 10 minutes, and Lord Wilkerson comes back in. So, I've looked at this Mr. Byrne, I'm told.
Yes.
I can see his injuries. I see what happened to him. Seems to have a nasty bump on his head as well as some sort of cut through his chest. What's wrong with my son?
I take a very, very deep breath.
Did he have any obvious wound to his eye?
No.
Okay, it's like he'd be like, "Oh, I took a knife in the eye."
The explanation will perhaps, and I apologize, my lord, require a question and answer from you. Are you a spiritual man of any sort?
I'm a good member and standing of the Church of England.
Dun dun dun! We eyeball Jesse.
If I may pry further, there is membership in the church and there's belief.
Did you not hear me say good member in standing?
I apologize.
Thank you.
I'm going to discreetly open my coat and just kind of like pull the mask out.
I all of a sudden go very pale.
It's like,
and
we can explain this real quick.
we have been investigating worshippers of foreign gods, first in America, in New York City, and we have followed their path to London. We have encountered things that beggar belief, my lord. Things that I would not have said was possible, even as I have been steeped in the Eastern mysteries myself. Something of a nature that cannot be fully explained has befallen your son. If you think I'm a liar or a fool, I will tell you no more and you may ignore me. But if you would like to hear more, I can tell you what I saw and what I think may be an explanation.
Can you roll me a persuade?
Yeah, my persuade is garbage. I'm pretty sure that does not pass. Nope.
Can you roll me a credit rating?
Yeah, that passes.
So, Professor,
Yes, sir.
Harvard,
Indeed.
you are professor of?
Archeology, anthropology, history.
What is your take on this business in Egypt?
I quirk an eyebrow.
This business in Eden?
Could you define this business
all
to a
these,
narrow field?
all these pyramids and ancient gods and that.
Like, is he just asking, like, in general?
General, yeah. go ahead and roll your archaeology.
Yeah, I pass.
Okay. So you give him just a basic overview of
Yeah, I will slant it towards
England is awesome.
towards God is great. Like,
Okay.
God is the way.
It's good to see that, though it will be no Oxford, Harvard is still a school with, worth its name. So, you gentlemen and young lady, have brought my son, wounded in some way. He will not wake. Ferguson tells me that there's something quite wrong that a doctor must attend to. And another man who's been cut by a saber and bashed upon the head to my house this evening. None of you look quite well. Some of you look even less well.
I don't see any marks on this.
He bashed somebody in the head to death with a stick. There's blood all over it.
I will slowly flick off a couple of pieces.
No, you won't. No, you would never do
Like,
that.
oh, just some brain. Yeah.
I'm watching you pretty carefully when I'm not directly addressing the Lord.
You wish me to believe that there is something mystical and strange in this fair country.
I think it's safe to say that we want you to take it on faith that we're defending your side of the line.
You will be my guests. And by guests, I mean you will stay here until such time that my son awakens and can confirm or deny your story. I warn you now, you leave my estate, you will come back. You will be found, and I will ask dead or alive. Do we understand each other?
With absolute certainty, my lord.
Now, there are rooms upstairs. As soon as I'm sure that Mr. Byrne can be moved again, we will move him to one, but as of now, he will stay on that couch until a doctor has a chance to look at him. Wouldn't want to rip anything open on accident. The lady may take a nice long bath this evening before going to bed, as well as be given proper clothing.
I look a little taken aback.
Do we understand each other?
We're all over here
Yes,
like,
me directly.
I'm nodding.
I'm not even like looking at him. I'm looking at Weld.
I'm nodding my head at you.
Excellent. Breakfast is served at 8. I expect you up, dressed, and at the table by 7:45. A servant will wake you, if need be.
Out of character, I assume that this implies also that he will be providing clothing for all
Oh,
of
yes,
us. That's coming.
absolutely.
Yeah, okay, so I'm not going to even ask about that.
He pointed out the most egregious error of clothing choices in the room.
Yeah.
Which
I
was
wanted to make clear.
barely her over
The
you.
woman.
I was just gonna say, which of the two did he look at?
A woman in pants.
He says he
Yes.
stands and says, "It will be a good evening, and it will be a good morning, and I will see you then."
Your hospitality is most appreciated, my lord, and we are all at your service for whatever you may require. I thank you, and I, kind of
Ferguson
bow.
will show you to whatever room you need, and he turns and leaves.
Yes.
What was he wearing?
Hold on.
What was he wearing?
He had
when he
changed.
came back?
He had changed into a proper suit, not a vest, but a full suit.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Good, Shirley.
What's wrong with clothes?
Women in England do not dress the way you do.
Or women in America don't dress like that.
Well, I know, but I'm making it easy. To some, how you dress may be considered, in fact, offensive. I know you do not know that and are not aware of the man we are staying with tonight is, of course, one of in the highest of societies on this island. And for them, a woman must be wearing a dress, must be proper, must speak very little.
She looks horrified. Wearing a dress?
Yes. For as long as we are here, please, if you will, sacrifice some of your pride.
Like the ladies in London.
Yes.
exactly.
Keep in mind the sacrifices that our compatriots have made who are lying on the beds.
Their waists are
With their
no
wounds.
bigger than my big toe.
I do not think you'll have to wear corsets, but I couldn't be.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Cross
look at
those
you and
fingers.
go like,
In any event,
this is England.
this man here tonight is doing us a tremendous favor in putting up. We've brought bleeding, bloodied men into his home, strangers into his home, a son
Weapons.
who cannot move guns. We must do everything we can to put him at ease. We need his help. And I know that this is difficult for you. And I know how difficult it is to hide the nature of oneself and to have to dress according to the whims of another. But we should do it for this man. I won't be wearing this, for example.
So you realize at that point, Ferguson is standing in the doorway, just waiting to be acknowledged.
I
Ferguson,
acknowledge him.
Yes,
Would it-
Mr. Botticello.
would it be alright if I stayed with Mr. Byrne until the doctors were done with it?
Your room is prepared upstairs.
Yes.
It would be best not to request too much, Mr. Botticello. Also, I don't want to be sleeping.
Lord
with Mr.
Wilkerson
Byrne.
has prepared a room for you upstairs. Shall I show you to it?
I walk up to you and I put my arm on your
Scared
shoulder and
now.
say, "This is a safe place. He will be tended to. You need to see to yourself and get a good night's sleep. We all do."
Do I have to take a bath?
Yes!
The water's already warm, waiting for you, Miss McCrea.
I will turn over his weapons to Ferguson.
No, leave them all.
I still have my weapons on me.
Master Reginald will take care of those when he awakens. Leave them here, in this room.
Yeah,
You might want to leave everything of such things here in this room.
Does he eye my...
Do I have to?
my line paws on our sleeve so we didn't see that. But yeah, I've got the shotgun when I put that down. Yes, we all have to. This is the Lord's home. Again, he is a Lord, with all that implies.
Hallowed be his name.
I will.
The GM just did a hallelujah thing to the sky, by the way.
It's the Lord's home.
I will remove my pistol and lay it on the ground.
Okay.
Then I will.
I'll
So-
take off my bandolier, I'll take off my waist, my belt, I'll take off my 2 pistols, I'll take off my shotgun, I'll take off my
She's the
throwing knives.
female.
Okay, as she
Version of
describes all of
Ferguson.
this and is placing all this in the pile, does Ferguson flinch an ounce?
He walks over and kind of re-straightens it so it sits very nicely and like, now come.
So these guys can hire the
I will
best
drop
help. They're
the
for
Gen-
real.
3
Gentlemen,
shotguns and 4
yeah.
pistols on top of the pile.
Gentlemen, come with me, and Miss McCrea, Elizabeth will see to your bathing and dressing. And like he walks you to the stairs, and there's a young lady dressed as in a maid's uniform, and she, Miss McCrea, please come with me. And she takes your hand gently and like pats it, like to calm you down.
And I kind of take it away from her.
Come this way. And she walks up the stairs and kind of takes a left, and the three of you
This isn't gonna be like my
follow.
fair lady.
Follow Ferguson up and take a right.
Am I required to leave my stick behind?
No.
Okay.
It's like, hey, as we're walking, Mr. Botticello, no late night excursions tonight. Please just sleep.
So you guys are shown to.
See what you say there.
Everyone
I
stops.
tapping buttons with my finger
I will
and winking.
tell Ferguson to check on his stupid bed that he makes up.
So you guys get to the.
Make sure he's actually sleeping under his bed as he should be and not bothering sick old Byrne.
So the three of you are shown to individual rooms. You are bathed by
Lock his door from the
Elizabeth.
outside.
No, I
she
won't get
and-
in the tub naked with another woman in the
Oh, she
room.
insists.
Well, she can insist all she wants.
So you wait for about an hour, feeling
I
very,
will
very silly.
stand
She might turn around, you know.
She would
Okay.
Would it
she
make you feel
turns
more comfortable
around,
if she got
but
naked also?
I'm-
Oh God!
No,
Oh wow!
What? I didn't even hear what he
no,
No, you don't wanna
You don't
know.
want to know. Just go on.
said. Alright.
So
Throw it
she
out.
eventually
Fine.
does turn around. You get in and
Yeah.
quickly bathe yourself, get out and dry off.
Yes.
She hands you a nice full robe and drapes it over you and takes the towel after it's covered you, and then takes you to a room
Ridiculous.
and where there's a closet about half full of dresses, probably around your size.
I figured she
Yeah,
was going
but
to
it's
scrub
a
you down.
nightgown. Yeah, I like my
She gets a
fair
power
lady
hose
is in my
and
head.
glasses.
Yeah.
Points you
Power
to
washer.
a nice big bed, dress in the morning. Shall I wake you in the morning, Miss McCrea?
If you need to.
You will be at breakfast at 7:45 as Master
Then I
Wilkerson.
suppose you should.
Excellent. I will see you in the morning, Miss McCrea. And she bows slightly and closes the door and leaves.
Bows.
Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Byrne.
Yes.
Oh, wait, can
about
I talk to Ferguson before we all go to bed?
Sure.
Ferguson, first, I would check on Mr. Botticello. He's a very well-meaning but very headstrong individual who will do what he sees best. His ways may seem strange to many, so do not be alarmed. Should he wander out of his room, be firm with him and send him back. I do not want him to disturb Mr. Byrne.
He's free to roam the house. Lord Wilkerson doesn't wish to see him sleep on the floor next to Mr. Byrne. That was his concern.
Yes.
Should he leave the estate?
He will not leave the estate. Of that I have no worry. I just do not want him...
The hunter is not someone we wish to send after anyone.
I do not think that will be a problem. We will not...
Poaching in this area is something we deal with on a regular basis, and
Yes.
tracking down humans is
Understood.
a little easier.
Again, I do not think any of us have that intention. I just do not want him...
Send up the Jaeger.
The other thing is, you may have... I know you would not have been listening in on our conversation with
I heard nothing.
the Lord. Of course not. I would like to explain to you.
There's no need for an explanation.
I know someone will be observing the captain as he sleeps, whatever form his slumber takes. He has been experiencing severe and profound nightmares. While I do not believe Mr. Byrne needs to be checked in while he sleeps, Wilkerson, the good captain obviously does, and just... I do not know if this information will help you tend to him any better, but you should have it. That is all.
We will see to
I know you will.
Master Reginald as best we can.
Anyway, I just want you to have
And
the
I will be
information.
as soon as the doctor gets here, we'll know more.
Yes.
So,
Thank you.
So Mr. Byrne, your wounds. You awake in the night, because no matter what I roll, you're gonna... Oh, look, you heal. The doctor comes and finds you, performs a little bit of first aid and a little bit of medicine. You're gonna get back, we'll say 4 hit points, which awakens you and makes you realize you're in quite a little bit of pain. Like, the adrenaline, while you were even just chained to the obelisk, that kept you from really realizing how painful it was. But you're in quite a bit.
Get morphine.
The doctor tells you to stay on the couch and not to get up.
Did they
Seem to?
Did they dress my sword wound?
Yes. Redressed it well.
Oh,
I mean, you
I
can-
meant the cultists.
Oh,
Or
they
make sure I didn't
slapped
bleed
something
out.
on it. No, they slapped something on it, but not
So
really.
just so
dressed
that I
it.
wouldn't bleed out
Yeah.
and die.
No
before-
stitches, because they don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't die, so you wouldn't die too early.
Yeah.
You just need to hold on for the next 6 hours.
Okay,
So you are taken care of. The doctor doesn't tell you where you're at. Doesn't mention it. Just kind of like if you ask him, he's just you relax. Let me do my job, and he just kind of takes care of your.
I'm gonna fight him until
wounds.
he tells me something.
You hear-
where are my friends? You know,
You
where
hear a
am I?
very loud clearing of a throat, and a proper
What?
English gentleman is standing there, and he looks slightly like Captain Wilkerson.
Okay.
Mr. Byrne, you will lay still while my son is unconscious upstairs. You will not be a problem.
Not out of
Yes,
fear,
Captain.
just like no, not out of fear, just
You want to
okay.
punch you into it.
I got my answer.
Yeah.
I got my answer. That's
So
fine.
you sleep kind of fitfully after the doctor leaves.
I'm sure.
Through the end. I mean, I'm just saying, you know what it's like to have your chest kind of cracked
Yeah.
open. Like, that's not fun.
No.
So, morning comes, you're all woken in proper time.
All of us?
It's going to take a week.
All right. Ooh.
Them's the rules, sorry.
Okay. I don't know.
So what about those that got jostled on the car?
Everybody can roll a D3 and heal that back. I don't know if that'll heal you back. Everybody but Mr. Wilkerson and Mr. Byrne. Roll that, divide it in half. So 3.
I'm gonna
Okay.
just like be constantly checking on the book that we took off the priest.
There's a lot.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna be like
And-
in depth reading. I'm just gonna like be perusing sections.
There's a
of
lot, and a lot of it is written in like a feverish like craze.
it. So it's kind
I'm
of
going
journal.
to.
So at 7:45, you all arrive, or shortly before, to a nice English tea and breakfast is brought out, and the Lord arrives exactly at 8. I mean, like literally, the clock goes dong, and he walks in the door. He sits down at the head of the table and he says, "The doctor tells me that my son will take about a week before we can see any good improvement. Until that time, you will be my guests." Mr. Byrne is awake. You aren't in the room. They still haven't moved you. They're not.
Okay.
Mr. Byrne is awake. You may speak with him and spend time in the parlor with him. You are free to roam the house. You're free to roam. You'll see a small, like, stone fence. I wouldn't even call it a fence. Almost like an edge of something. A small, knee-high stone area. Don't go past that. Anything beyond that, I will consider off of the estate. If you need anything while you're here, find someone. They will provide it.
I bow my head several times while he speaks, and I say again, we thank you for your hospitality, my lord, and we are at your disposal for anything you should require.
Supper is at 7. You will be available for that. Anytime between now and then, if you are hungry, we'll talk to the kitchen. I would prefer that anything that does not belong to my son in my rear parlor be cleaned and put away.
My lord, one small detail that I am sorry to trouble you with, is I'm sorry to trouble you with indeed all of this. Our possessions that were left in a hotel in London.
They will be here within the next few hours. I spoke with a man who is quite loyal to my son.
Will that be a problem with you, or?
No, these are your things.
Thank
you
you.
need clothes to change into. I expect to see you in only the finest dress while you're here.
Of course, my lord.
So, we're going to montage a week. I know
I'm
you
gonna
guys
start
want to
studying.
talk about 1,000 things.
Yes.
Your books are there, so if you wanted to read a book, you can.
I'm going to give some money to Ferguson to have a tailor come out.
He refuses to take the money and invites the tailor out anyway.
Sure,
On
to
principle.
kit us out in indeed the finest clothes we possibly can for the English, classic, traditional English fashions
Get
that
the wardrobe.
do that. So we're all
Oh,
good on that
absolutely.
front.
I'm going to spend some personal time with the professor.
Okay?
Not alone.
This. Allow me to show you how this works.
Do you let him show you, like, walk you
Yeah.
through the ritual? You want to learn that?
Yeah.
Okay. So he walks you through that during the week.
Yeah.
You guys have your...
Will you teach me as well?
Yes. Right.
What's the
Probably
name
show you
of
at the same time. It is called
Scott, you get 4 hit points back at the end of the week.
Eben's Wheel of Mist.
Johnny, you get 4 hit points back at the end of the week. Everybody else can roll another D3 and heal that for the week if you need to. Yeah, I mean, it's just probably the one.
The stuff we took off the priest.
There's a book there.
Yeah, and there were 2 scepters, a book.
You through the week, you realize that if you hold the scepters crossed, like you're just like fiddling with them, and you held them crossed, you felt, that's how the one scepter makes you feel kind of powerful.
Yeah.
These make you feel like twice as powerful. So,
Jeez.
but as soon as you uncross them, that feeling goes away. So there's.
Do you tell us about any of the effects of the scepters and stuff?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
I will give you the copper disc that I do have also.
Okay.
The sacrificial knife, or the knife, is probably just a ritual knife of some sort. It doesn't have a specific power, but it can be used in anything that needs a ritual knife.
All right, I'm
So
also going
he,
to try
he
the...
lasered me in the eye with the sticks, not the knife.
Sticks.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
You
It
said
was,
he
I went back and rewrote that because I
Okay.
forgot the sticks were important.
I'm going to do the, hold it and say, in name of
It
whoever,
only
give me the power.
it doesn't do anything.
Naomi.
Yeah.
Yeah, Naomi.
Yeah, but
So at the end of that week, Mr. Wilkerson or Captain Wilkerson wakes up. Yes.
Am I up and around? Do I get
You're
moved in my own room?
easy. Yeah, you've been
Well,
moved
I'm-
upstairs. You've been given, the doctor's told you to move as little as possible. Like up and down the stairs you need help. He stitched you, but he's not sure about the stitches because of the way the cut sits and all that. So you can go up and down the stairs without a problem, but he doesn't suggest it more than twice a day. So if you go down, you might as well stay down. If you go back up, stay up.
I'm going
I
to occasionally
would-
pop in and give you Eastern healing strategies and things you should eat. Saying ginger root and things like that.
So
I eat anything that's brought.
All right.
I would talk to Courtney about proper English etiquette and
Or total
talk
lack
to
of it.
English or Elizabeth about it.
Okay.
What, how women act, whatever.
So, at the end of the first week, Captain Wilkerson joins you for his first dinner.
What happens when I wake up? Do I just wake up and it's been a
You've-
week of
you
restful
know that,
sleep?
those fever dreams.
Great.
You've
Yeah.
had those, but they've not been nearly like they're bad, but they're not nearly as bad.
Yeah, they're like walking a park, like, oh,
Yeah.
thank goodness I only
You're
had
like,
fever
God, that
dreams.
was terrible. It
Does
wasn't
he-
super terrible. Hooray!
Does he have
I
like
didn't lose 20
the
cents.
control? Does
Yeah.
he ever have moments where he feels that control that he?
You feel the
Who's getting-
control a lot. You feel like you force yourself in your dreams to have control. Like you're fighting back in your own dreams now.
Is
with
there a
whatever.
skill for that?
No.
God, I wish I could level
You're just
that
lucid dreaming constantly.
So at the end of the week, you wake up. The doctor has been and gone and been and gone. I mean, the doctor all but lives here right now.
up. Right.
You wake up. Ferguson's there. Your father's brought to you, and he says, "I don't want to know yet. I want you to explain in front of your friends, so that I can get the story once, and then when they try and clamor their way out of it, we can catch them or whatever it is,
Yes, Father.
and then we have things to discuss,
Of course.
many matters to discuss." So, it's probably mid morning. He has lunch brought to you, and then says you will be down for dinner at 7, or supper at 7 as always.
Of course.
Sorry,
Mr.
question.
Weld.
I will have been asking for London papers if they do not.
No, they're there. I mean,
Right.
they're
Any discussion of a firefight at an island
No.
or so the cult probably covered this all over.
something.
Does
happened.
Penhew appear in the papers at all?
Penhew or Gavigan?
Gavigan, I'm sorry.
What about
Does the
bodies
Penhew
washing
Foundation?
No.
up? Anything about mysterious bodies or anything about how they would have disposed of the dead on the island?
No, although it was a swamp, you just kind of roll them.
Hopefully they would go into the swamp and hopefully not some sort of horrible ritual.
Right.
Any more Egyptian killer stories?
Yes. It's like 24th victim or whatever.
Oh, jeez. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
You also catch another story, since you asked. That's a good point. Don't you love it when it's slow? There we go. You catch another story about not that one. I'm gonna find it. I'm almost got it. Where is it at? Not that.
About an attempted break into Arthur Conan Doyle's house.
Yes. No.
It's on the front page.
Shocking canvases bring recognition. Local artists' monstrous scenes mock surrealists. And it's really the story about this extremely strange and creepy paintings that this man has been doing. Miles Shipley. And the three occultists, can you all give me... Because I assume that when you see this and it kind of catches your eye, Mr. Byrne, you probably pointed out, if not, if everybody else isn't reading it. If you got your occult,
Yep.
there's something going on there. I mean,
Okay.
it's clear. So,
Is he in London?
yes.
Okay.
He is in a small part of London called something. No, it's a London artist, so it doesn't really say. This correspondent has seen dozens of the works of artist Miles Shipley and finds them repulsive beyond belief. Maidens ravished, monsters ripping out a man's innards, shadowy grotesque landscapes, and faces grimacing in horror represent only a fraction of Shipley's work.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that role, if that didn't tell you, me reading it to you, like, that kind of clues you in.
This guy's messed up.
So you guys have been out at the Kent home, or the Wilkerson home for a week. You come to dinner on the night that Captain Wilkerson wakes up. Every time during the day that you found out that Captain Wilkerson was awake, that you tried to go talk to him, you were told that he needed his rest and not to bother him.
Yes.
So, you sit down to dinner. Captain Wilkerson looking a little worse for the wear, a little pale, a little paler,
Yeah.
a little tired. As weird as that sounds, a little worn. Joins you at dinner, and again at precisely 7 o'clock, Lord Wilkerson joins you and sits.
When Captain Wilkerson comes down, I'll raise my teacup or glass or whatever we're having as a little toast across the table to you. Nod.
So, he waits until the first course has been brought, and you are all quietly dining. And you've learned by this point, if he doesn't speak first, you just don't. You wait. And he says, "So, Reginald, what do you know of Derbyshire?"
Out of character jog the players with Derbyshire.
You have no idea.
But,
Small little area. You may not know much. I mean,
yeah, Derbyshire is like, okay, that's a small outlying outskirt.
I may have need of some help. Reportedly, there has been a monster seen up there.
Wait,
What's-
Lord Wilkerson says this?
What sort of monster?
That's the report. A monster.
Understood.
I owe Lord Sir Vane a favor, and I'm asking you to look into it for me.
Certainly.
I understand that you've seen some things lately. I know because I sat in your room while you babbled.
Then I will do everything I can to assist.
And Eva kind of comes in her chair.
He looks at you and goes, "Do you sit up?"
Yes.
How soon?
Oh, you should rest at least another week.
Oh, okay.
Your stitches are
See,
not quite ready, and my son still needs to get his full strength.
That's
But this Derbyshire incident is most disturbing.
Do you have more details that I can review after dinner?
There are some newspaper clippings that you have saved, but beyond that, not at this point in time.
Excellent.
I don't know what you have gotten yourself into with this group. I don't want to know. But given the things I heard come out of you, it's something old and something dangerous. I don't want a part of that. I'm not saying you shouldn't pursue it.
Understood.
You will write the sincerest letters to the men who died and their families.
Of course.
I assume that's why you were calling around.
Yes.
For all of them, not just the ones that I'm aware of.
Absolutely.
sir, if I can ask.
Absolutely.
Has there been anything that has not made the papers that you could tell us?
I'm not close enough to London to really keep on top of that. You might speak with some newsmen there. They might have heard something but not have a full report. I wish I could offer you more, but with the winter break, I'm not in London nearly as much as I would like to be. So my information from there is not nearly as thorough as it could be.
When are you scheduled to return to London?
It won't be until March, which is about a month away. Because now you're fully in February. So, if you gentlemen need anything, you're welcome to do as you please. You're welcome to leave, although I would again suggest that, son, you stay for at least another week and heal, as well as you, Mr. Byrne. I can't make you either one stay, but you will.
Of course.
It is the brightest thing to do. So, is there anything I can do for you, gentlemen? Lady.
Do you... I'm sorry. Or are you going to say anything? My lord, do you have a... Are you in contact with anyone at the University of Kent?
I have quite a few friends that I work with from time to time on different subjects.
While Mr. Byrne and your son are convalescing, I may want to use the university library and would appreciate, again at your forbearance, perhaps a letter of introduction to make things
Oh, absolutely.
smooth.
If the professor would like to go with you, that will help smooth the way as well. Even such as Harvard. So, anything else I can do? He goes back to eating.
And the intimation, again, out of character, because, a lot is implied by this speech, but I want to make sure I'm clear enough my character note. So he's implying, he wants the captain to go investigate this, which would imply he wants the rest of us to go.
Yes.
On this sense.
From what you gathered, he doesn't know what's going on, but clearly it's something odd and something eldritch. He probably heard God knows what come out of Wilkerson while he was unconscious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and England has some background in these sort of things, so who knows what he may or may not know.
I think what he heard was about 35 points of sanity lost babblings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be pretty epic babbling.
Yeah.
A week's worth.
He goes back to eating, and that will wrap us up tonight for Nerds Main Presents
Yes.
Masks of Gnarltep. You can find us on Facebook and on Twitter. You can go over to iTunes and give us a rating and click some stars. And you can go over to /loot and get some t-shirts. And we will talk to you guys real soon.